You will not believe where we are right now.
I'm still in disbelief.
We are at William Frantz Elementary, where Ruby Bridges took steps to integrate schools in the South back in 1960.
As I think about Through My Eyes, using that text with students, it is wonderful to think about all the things that Barbara Henry could do with one student.
We talk about building relationships with our students all the time and how important that is and how it really is the foundation to student success, their learning, their futures, all those things.
And think about Ruby Bridges and how she loved coming to school.
That connection they must have one-on-one, I'm pretty sure that's really what got her through a lot of these days in this classroom.
I can't wait for the conversation we're going to have today.
Well, good morning, Ruby. It is so nice to be able to sit here with you today and just to get a chance to have conversation with you. And so I was wondering, like, what was your childhood like to grow up in New Orleans?
Well, New Orleans is just about all I know because we moved here when I was about 2 years old. I was actually born in Mississippi, little small town, Tylertown, Mississippi. So I'm really a country girl at heart, but coming to the city, I mean, it was really fun. I mean, there's so much to do. I can remember so many things, especially Mardi Gras. I mean, that was always such a highlight, you know, and growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, there were lots of kids on the street. So New Orleans was, you know, definitely fun for me and still is.
Now, can you paint a picture for us? What was 6-year-old Ruby like?
Yeah.
Very inquisitive. I loved school because I really felt like I was going to learn something new every day. You know, I had an amazing teacher, Mrs. Henry, who had come from Boston to teach me because when I was integrating schools, lots of teachers quit their jobs. They didn't want to teach black kids. I mean, it was a new transition, you know. My walk up those stairs actually changed the face of education. So teachers really didn't want to teach black kids. And this amazing woman came from Boston to teach me, and I couldn't wait to get into the classroom every day. I mean, I was definitely anticipating kids being there. That did not happen. But the fact that she was there and she made school fun, and I knew I was going to learn something new every day, and I couldn't wait.
Why do you think it's essential for children to hear and learn about your story?
I think my story is important because my story is of a child. And, you know, for the last 25 years, I've been in schools talking to kids. I do school visits and I, you know, do a 2-hour presentation. And teachers are always amazed, like, oh my God, I can't believe you held their attention for 2 hours. But it's because that story is about a child. And it is about different things that kids can relate to. So I believe they relate to my story because they somehow put themselves in the shoes of this child. Because I often, you know, have them say, "You're my hero. You had so much courage. You were so brave." And I think, you know, they think about how they would have felt in a situation like that. And then, quite frankly, they're amazed. They're amazed by the fact that adults treated a child this way. You know, that it is the ultimate form of bullying, you know, when they see the 6-year-old walking through a crowd of adults. I mean, what child would expect adults to behave that way? So it really is a fascinating story to them, I think.
So when we think about teachers engaging students and using Through My Eyes, what are the ways that teachers can express to their students what they want them to learn? What major takeaways do you hope teachers share with their students when they read your story?
Well, when I was asked to write Through My Eyes, I was a little bit hesitant about it because the first book, The Story of Ruby Bridges, I thought was amazing. And it was the first book of its kind to take a subject like racism and try and explain it to a 6-year-old. So I thought, how can I do better, you know? But then I thought about going back to being 6 and trying to explain what it was like, what I saw, what I was thinking at the time, why none of that really made any sense to me, you know? And so I thought, the message that I really want people to get from this story is the fact that I knew absolutely nothing about racism. That I explained my story through the eyes of a 6-year-old. So what I thought I was seeing was actually not what was happening.
Right.
But I wanted people to kind of journey with me through that and see it through my eyes. And another 6-year-old child would probably see exactly what I saw if they know nothing about racism.
Perspective.
Exactly. And so I thought if I could do that, then people would understand that none of our babies are born knowing anything about disliking one another.
No, it's learned.
It's
definitely
learned. It has to be taught. And so that really was the message that I wanted to portray by having people take that walk with me and explaining to them what I was seeing.
So earlier you mentioned how much of a role Barbara played in your life as a child. What role would you say teachers play or have in children's lives today?
We are living in times where you are actually called to protect. That your role is so much more important today than just reading, writing, and arithmetic. That you are actually educating and helping to raise the next generation. To put it very simply, you are feeding the minds of our children. That is a very, very important role.
It is.
It was an honor to meet Ruby Bridges today.
Truly, it was a powerful experience.
My biggest takeaway is that we have to continue advocating for ourselves and for our students every day and never lose hope.
For me, it was very powerful when she spoke on our responsibility to our students as teachers, to our students in their lives. And not only do we protect them, but we also have to use creativity when we are showing different perspectives in history, past, present, and beyond.
We hope that this conversation helps teachers when they use this great title with their students.